Hey guys, happy Tuesday. It is April 2nd and I decided I would start this week's vlog today with a little check-in. Okay, this is gonna sound so stupid. I literally just filmed my April TBR, which will be up before this, so you guys will see it. But I was so excited to read A Little Life, and I'm still interested. But guys, I'm having a rough go. So the first 100 pages roughly is like part one, or like the first chapter. I don't know how to tell you exactly what they're called. But the first chapter is called like Lispenard Street. And you kind of get some backstory on each of the four main characters. And then the second part, or like the second chapter, is called The Postman. And first off, at the beginning of this chapter, it's like it took at least the first page or 2 pages to realize who was being spoken of, like whose perspective or whatever it was from. And at first I was thinking, like, because the book is, I'm reading it pretty slow. Like normally I can read a little faster than this. And so I was kind of having this, like, is it a me thing? And it might still be a me thing, but the way that the author wrote this one, they use a lot of he's and. So I'm gonna go to the page. This is the page that really tripped me up, and it's not a spoiler or anything. There's nothing spoilery. You won't even know what I'm talking about if you haven't read the book. But one of the sentences is, his and CM's was the smallest of the apartments because the landlord had annexed half of the floor to make a storage room. CM paid significantly more of the rent, so he had the bedroom. He occupied a corner of the living room, the part with the bay window. Does that... It's stuff like that. I find that I keep getting tripped up on who the author is trying to refer to. So in those couple of sentences, he is referring to the character in the book. Then he is referring to his friend CM. And then he, all of the sudden, is referring to the person whose point of view it is again. And it is throwing me off so hard. Like, I'm reading stuff and I want to get into the character and I want to connect. But stuff like that just keeps pulling me out of the story because I keep having to go back and look and go, wait, which character is that particular he directed at? Because 98% of the characters in the book so far have been male. So that's where I am right now. I want to like A Little Life. I want to. Everyone seems to love it. And I hope that I can either get used to it, or the writing changes a bit, or it's just like a particular part of this book. But the last 30 pages took me so long to read, I feel like. And I just cannot get into the story because I keep having to look back and go, wait, what? Wait, who's there? Like, I just keep getting so confused, and it's making me feel like I'm too dumb to read the book. And I know I'm not dumb. I know I'm not too dumb to read the book. It just makes me feel like that, and so it's making me kind of want to put it down, but I also want to finish it, but it's also like 800 pages. I am going to go attempt to read some more as I speak awful about it, but I'm going to attempt to read some more, see if it starts getting better. I will update you as the week goes along. I'm just waiting for Rainer to get home from school. And then Jared and I are going to the movies tonight. Anyway, I just wanted to update you and let you know my feelings because they're not the greatest at the moment, but I'm still interested. So I'm going to push through and I will let you know. Hey guys, it's Thursday. I thought I would update you really quick. My dad is on his way over, so hopefully he doesn't pull up while I'm doing this. But I am now 280 pages in to A Little Life. The majority of my tabs are orange. There are some pink, there are some blue, there are some green. There are sticky notes, there are notes in the back. I am feeling a lot of feelings and they're not great feelings, and it's not... So far, I can't even say how I feel. I feel like I'm the only person in the world who has negative feelings towards the book. Now, I understand it's supposed to be a depressing book. That I understand. I am totally fine with that. But it feels like this book was written, like, for the sole purpose of torturing you. But I think the biggest feeling I'm having with this is I'm just feeling really frustrated. And I feel like that's the biggest way to explain this. And I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who does actually want to read this. But I feel like I'm the only one who's giving it like a sort of negative light. And okay, so the last clip that you saw when I was complaining about like parts of the writing style, that happened like this whole kind of section, which was all based around a certain character, kind of did that. And it just, like, I kept running into these instances where it wasn't clear who the author was referencing, and that was really driving me up the wall. After I finished that chapter, the next chapter ended up being from a different character's perspective, but it was that person's first-person point of view talking to, I can only guess, the character in the book about Jude. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But I think that's who this character was talking about, and I think that's also like I can't even explain it. It was so confusing because I just like, and I get that it was probably written on purpose like that so that eventually you'll find out, like you'll probably get more chapters eventually from that person's perspective, maybe, I don't know. But I'm 300 pages in and I'm feeling so frustrated, and while I don't connect because I don't feel the way that this certain character feels, what this person is doing is almost manipulative, I think. And not that the person even knows that they're doing it, like not that they're doing it on purpose, but for instance, like there's somebody in this book who clearly needs help, and other characters in the book keep telling this person, look, you need to get help, you need to talk to somebody, you need to talk. And they keep trying to get him to talk, and over time it seems like people are asking this person less and less because the guy's almost like 40 now and he's still not opening up about anything. But then you read from that character's perspective and it's exhausting being in their head, and I kind of get that that's probably what it's supposed to feel like, so the author probably did that right in that sense. But I also, it's like inside my head, not that all of the things can be solved, but I am a very firm believer in speaking, because I know personally if I bottle anything up, and like not for 15 years, if I bottle things up for a couple of days, I feel sick. Like if I keep something in and there's something I want to talk about and I'm like holding it in for whatever reason, I don't even know why I do it sometimes, but I notice I literally get nauseous, and I couldn't imagine keeping a secret for 15 or 20 or 30 years. Like I couldn't imagine. And so I understand that they're probably trying to show this like self-torture, and that's pretty much what it is. This person is torturing themselves emotionally and physically. I don't think anyone has talked about the trigger warnings in this, and these are not for, like, I don't care. I'm fine running into this stuff, but I've never heard anyone mention them. And I feel like to someone who does have mental health, like if they're suffering with things like that, there is, like I wrote them down, there is self-harm, I think suicide, child loss, child abuse, and sexual abuse. And I believe the sexual abuse is to a child. That's a lot. And like the one chapter that I read, it was like sickening, the things that you find out. It's sickening. But I also felt really disconnected because I wasn't following it easily, and I keep finding myself really disconnected. And then there's another part where somebody blames someone else for not taking care of this grown adult. Other people are not your responsibility. Other adults are not your responsibility. Yes, they need support and love and kindness, and you need to be there. But you can't be the sole person keeping someone else alive or keeping someone else from hurting themselves. That is a full-time job, and no one should be able to expect that of another person, and you shouldn't expect yourself to do that for another person. I don't think that's fair to put that much responsibility on another person if the person in question isn't willing to help themselves. And I think that is what's irritating me so much, because I feel like all of these things could be shown But there is still 500 pages or so left. And if it's just going to be 500 more pages of self-torture and self-harm, I feel like the book is just going to feel really, really dragged out. And yes, it is sad. It is super sad. Some perspectives more so than others. But right now I am struggling. Like, it's getting easier to read. I'm finding it easier to follow, at least from the other perspectives that I'm getting. But I'm just having a really hard time not being frustrated because this person won't open their mouth. Like, it's just... And it's not even that their problems would be solved, but they would be understood more. And I don't know. I'm going to end this clip here. Please don't come at me. I'm attempting to finish the book because I want to do a full-on book talk with spoilers, because I'm going to keep this video spoiler-free. Hey guys, it is Saturday night, and I'm gonna end the vlog tonight and start a new one on Monday. I did not finish this sucker. I tried. I promise you guys, I gave it my best effort. It is the 5th, I think, and I'm at page 468, so, or maybe it's the 6th. I don't know. Anyway, I've read almost 500 pages. And I still feel like I'm the only person who feels like this, and I feel like I feel the things I feel, and people are gonna say, well, that was the point. But then I also feel like it feels so pointless. I was talking with my mother-in-law about this earlier, and she was just convinced it was a bad book. And honestly, I don't know what to say, because I know people love this book, and I know they feel for these people. I expected myself to be crying a lot through this book. I really did. I expected me to have like a major tear fest. That is what I was expecting. And don't take this as I don't feel empathy, because I do. I definitely do. The things that I know about the one main character, like in this book, the things that I know that have happened to this person, I have so much empathy for. I do. But I also, as I've said before, I'm a very firm believer in helping yourself. And I know that's not easy. That part I understand as well. I get that it's one of those easier said than done things. But the amount of times that this character has said, I wish I could, I just wish I could do this, I just wish I could say something, I wish I could tell this person, and then they don't. I feel awful, but my feelings towards this book, I am sickened by some of the things that have happened. Like, honestly, if I knew all the stuff that this book contained, I probably wouldn't have chosen to read it, especially since I have children, because even if I hadn't had children, this book would have been, parts of it would have been so disgusting to me. And having children, it makes it so much worse. And I can't even convey all my thoughts in this vlog because I don't want to spoil anything, but the best I can tell you are my feelings. And it's not that I don't empathize with people who have mental health, but I also feel incredibly helpless being a person who is on the outside. So there are other characters in this book who don't blatantly have mental health issues. Everyone has issues with their brain sometimes. I get it. Everybody has bad thoughts sometimes, or insecure thoughts, or whatever. Everybody does that. But being one of the people who doesn't typically suffer from mental illness, and this isn't bragging or anything like that, but without saying too much, there is a relationship in my own life with someone who is very near and dear to me, who needs help and won't accept help, who, if you encourage to get help or to reach out or to speak about feelings, they don't. They bottle it up, and I'm stuck in this continual stage of limbo of, if I say too much, this person will run. If I don't say enough and something bad happens, it's my fault. It's like this perpetual state of hopelessness. And that is how I feel about this book. I feel like this book is a perpetual state of hopelessness. And it's not that I don't think the author meant to do that. I feel like literally the person who wrote this sat down and went, how can I make people feel, sorry, I'm spitting. How can I make people feel so incredibly helpless? And then they wrote this book. Because there is on one hand, you can write a book that has like some hopelessness in it, but like, or hurtfulness in it, but there's a point. And to me, this book has no point. I feel like the people who have mental illness in the way that this one character does will relate to him, and it almost encourages bad thoughts. And then with the other side of the people, which are the people that I tend to relate more with, are the people who are trying to help this person, and they are just helpless and hopeless because this person won't speak to them. And so there's nothing that anyone can do. And it kind of makes me feel like the whole, like, you can have mental health awareness until the cows come home, but if the people who need it don't reach out and can't reach out and don't find a way to reach out, there's nothing the rest of us can do. And all I can say is, if you suffer from mental health and you suffer from like suicidal thoughts, to please reach out. Please tell somebody. The people who truly care about you and the people who really want to know. They want you to tell them, or at least tell someone. They don't want you to internalize everything and feel everything so deeply and hurtfully that you cannot escape it. Nobody wants that for you. And that is the best way I know how to say this right now. I am definitely going to finish it, even though it sucks and I don't want to read anymore. I kind of hate myself for even starting. You guys understand where I'm coming from without thinking I'm just a cold-hearted person, because I'm really not cold-hearted. I have huge empathy for people, and I have a huge heart for people who are struggling. I just feel so helpless in the fact that you cannot force someone to want help or to get help. And that is where the struggle is for me. And I feel like this entire book is just an endless circle of chasing your tail of, you need help, you should get help. No, I don't want help. You need help, you should get help. No, I don't want help. No, I don't need help. No, I don't need to talk to a therapist. No, I don't need to, like, it's just, everything is so internalized that this person has locked themselves in their own prison, like their own mind prison. And, well, it would be really, really hard to break out of that. It's almost like they're not even trying. And and in this book, it really does seem like that. It really, like, they just keep writing things off like, nope, there is no possible way I could ever talk about this. There's just no way. They literally say it's literally impossible. Even though they could, but they won't. And I just want you guys to know that if you are struggling, this is not judgment. I am not judging you. I care for you deeply, and I want you to know that, and I want you to reach out to someone important in your life if you need to say something, and please share. I think it was like 220 pages or something of this yesterday. So I feel like I filled my quota for yesterday and today. I read another 20 pages today. Really didn't read a lot, but we've just been so busy, and I do not want to read any more tonight. I just can't, I don't think. And I want to read this as quick as I can because it's really bringing me down. And I love sad books, but reading this book is almost self-torture for my standards. Like, this is a lot. I will talk to you all on next week's vlog because I'm going to start a new one on Monday, and I will talk to you soon. Please comment below if you've read this book and what you thought of it so far. I'm only like 500 pages in at this point, so no spoilers for the end, if there is anything to spoil at this point. And I will talk to you all next time. Thanks so much for watching.